Good morning, students. This is class 11, subject chemistry, chapter 6, thermodynamics, and this is lecture number 3. So these are the topics which we will discuss today: enthalpy, heat capacity, and measurements of enthalpy and internal energy. So we will start with enthalpy. What is enthalpy? Enthalpy means energy. Enthalpy is also another state function, and we are already familiar with the term internal energy. So here we will do one derivation, and in this derivation we will introduce enthalpy. So from the first law of thermodynamics, delta U is equal to Q plus W. That means change in internal energy is equal to heat plus work done. So we will consider this equation as 1. Now we know that work done is equal to minus P delta V, pressure into change in volume. So we can put the value of work done in equation number 1. Okay, so here we will put the value of W in this equation. When we will put the values, then equation will become delta U is equal to Q minus P delta V. Now if we shift these terms, then it will become Q is equal to delta U plus P delta V, where Q is the heat, delta U is change in internal energy, P is pressure, and delta V is change in volume. So here we have relation that delta U is equal to QV. That means at constant volume, change in internal energy is equal to total heat absorbed by the system. Suppose there is a system and volume of that system is constant, same, and we want to find out change in internal energy. So change in internal energy will be equal to the total heat absorbed by the system at constant volume. That is why we have written V here. So this is at constant volume. At constant pressure, the equation will become this. Delta U is equal to QP minus P delta V. As we are taking pressure constant here, so in this equation, Q is equal to delta U plus P delta V. If you will shift delta U on this side, then it will be like this. So here, this is the equation which we have written here. Okay. So at constant pressure, we will write here P with heat, and the equation will become delta U is equal to QP minus P delta V. Delta V is change in volume and delta U is change in internal energy. So change in internal energy can be written like in this way: U2 minus U1. Okay, final internal energy minus initial internal energy. In the same way, we can write delta V like in this way: V2 minus V1. Okay. Now we will multiply minus P with V2 and minus V1. So the equation will become this: U2 minus U1 is equal to QP minus PV2 plus PV1. Okay, when this minus sign will multiply with this minus sign, it will become plus sign. Now shift minus PV2 and PV1 on the left hand side. Then the equation will become this: U2 minus U1 plus PV2 minus PV1 is equal to QP. Now you can write U2, that means final internal energy, with PV2 and U1 with PV1. So here we will take minus sign common in this bracket. So it will become U1 plus PV1. Okay. Now internal energy plus pressure into volume is equal to a new thermodynamics function. Okay, and that new thermodynamic function is enthalpy, which is represented by capital H. So H is equal to internal energy plus pressure into volume. So here in this equation you can see that U2 plus PV2, right? So here this is equal to H2, that means final enthalpy. And here this is U1 plus PV1, that means this is initial enthalpy. So here we can write H1. So final enthalpy minus initial enthalpy. So this is change in enthalpy, right? So here QP is equal to delta H. So from here we can say that at constant pressure, the change in enthalpy is always equal to the heat absorbed by the system. Now here Q is not a state function because it depends on the path, but internal energy, pressure, volume and delta H, that means enthalpy. They are state function because they are independent of the path. Now in this equation only P is constant, P is same. So we can write this equation like this, that change in enthalpy is equal to change in internal energy plus P delta V, change in volume. Now here there is an important point, when to take sign of delta H negative and when to take it positive. So when delta H is negative, that means reaction is exothermic. Exothermic means large amount of energy or small amount of energy is releasing. And if value of delta H is positive, that means reaction is endothermic. Heat is absorbed by the system. Okay. So here these are the sign convention, that delta H is negative for exothermic reaction and delta H is positive for endothermic reaction. Now we can further continue the derivation. From ideal gas equation we can write PV is equal to nRT. Now let us assume a chemical reaction or a physical reaction which involves only gas. If Va is the total volume of the gaseous reactant and Vb is the total volume of the gaseous product and Na is the number of moles of gaseous reactant and Nb is the number of moles of gaseous product, and here we are taking pressure constant, then using the ideal gas equation we can write PVA is equal to NaRT for the gas which is present in reactant, and for B gas, for the product, PVB is equal to NBRT. This is equation A and this is equation B. So if we subtract equation number B minus A, then it will become PVB minus PVA is equal to NBRT minus NART. Here in the right hand side we can take RT as common, then it will become NB minus NA into RT. And if we take pressure common, then it will be VB minus VA. So that means change in volume. So we can write change in volume by delta V. So it will become P delta V, and this is NB minus NA, number of moles of product minus number of moles of reactant. So we can write this delta NG. Okay, that means change in number of moles. So the equation will become P delta V is equal to delta Ng RT. Okay, that means value of P delta V is equal to delta N RT. Now this is the equation, delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. So here we can put the value of P delta V, right? If you will put the value of P delta V, which is equal to delta N RT, then the new equation will become delta H is equal to delta U plus delta nRT. You will use this equation in numericals. Here delta H is change in enthalpy, delta U is change in internal energy, and what is delta N? Delta N is number of moles of product minus number of moles of reactant into gas constant R into temperature. Now we will start new topic, that is heat capacity. What is heat capacity? Heat capacity of a system is defined as the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of the system through 1 degree Celsius. Suppose there is a system and we want to change the temperature of that system. Then the amount of heat required to change the temperature by 1 degree Celsius is known as heat capacity. So we can represent it by using formula that C is equal to Q divided by T2 minus T1. Okay, here Q is the amount of heat supplied to the system to change the temperature, and C is the heat capacity, and T2 is the final temperature and T1 is the initial temperature. So we can write this delta T, that means change in temperature, because we are changing the temperature, okay, so that temperature of the system increases. Now if you will shift delta T on this side in the left hand side, then Q is equal to C into delta T. Now there is one more term, specific heat capacity. What is specific heat capacity? When we fix the amount of a substance, then it will become specific heat capacity. So specific heat capacity of a substance is defined as the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of the substance through 1 degree Celsius. Definition is same here. Amount is fixed, that we are changing the temperature of 1 gram of substance. Now next term is molar heat capacity. What is molar heat capacity? So here we are raising the temperature of a system of 1 mole of the substance, because this is molar heat capacity. So it is defined as the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of a system of 1 mole of the substance through 1 degree Celsius is known as molar heat capacity. Okay, this molar stands for 1 mole. So we can write this Q is equal to N into C into delta T. Here Q is the amount of heat required to change the temperature, N is the number of moles of the substance, and C is the heat capacity, and delta T is change in temperature. You will use this formula in the numericals. NCERT exercise question number 9 is based on this formula. Okay. Now next topic is measurement of delta U. So a special apparatus known as Bohm calorimeter is used to find the delta U value. That means change in internal energy. So this is the apparatus, and this apparatus consists of a strong steel vessel. Okay. So this is made up of steel and it can stand high pressure. It is surrounded by a bigger vessel which contains water and it is insulated. Okay. Here water is filled. Here thermometer is present and here stirrer is present. From thermometer we can check the temperature, and from the stirrer we can get the same temperature throughout the system. So here we will start the procedure. Here we will keep the compound of known mass in the platinum cup. This is platinum cup. This is also known as Bohm. Now current is passed through the filament and combustion take place. With combustion there will be change in the temperature of water. So here we will note down temperature of water. So here we will note down heat absorbed per degree rise of the temperature. So we can calculate heat capacity from the apparatus. Because definition of heat capacity is amount of heat required to raise the temperature of system by 1 degree Celsius. Okay, so this change in temperature of water will give us value of heat capacity. This is the formula by which you can find out internal energy. Okay, so here delta U is the change in internal energy and Q is the heat capacity of the calorimeter. Delta T is the rise in temperature. M is the mass of the substance taken and capital M is the molecular mass of the substance. Now next is measurement of delta H, that means change in enthalpy. So this is the apparatus. This is simple calorimeter for the measurement of change in enthalpy. Here in this vessel reaction will take place. Whenever any reaction take place here, then we will observe temperature of the water. If the reaction is exothermic, then temperature will rise. And if reaction is endothermic, then temperature will fall. That means for exothermic reaction, value of delta H is negative, and for endothermic reaction value is positive, because here energy is releasing and here energy is absorbed by the system. So that's all for today, students. This is your homework. You have to do question number 7. If you have any doubt or queries, you can ask me on my email ID. Thank you and have a nice day.